Okay, in a couple of weeks, Wenger will coach his last game at Arsenal. Now, it was obviously announced last week that he'll be leaving at the end of the season, so, you know, not long left. Now, he's been there since 1996, and since he's been in charge, so in the 22 years he has been there, he has won 3 league titles, 7 FA Cups, and I believe a League Cup and a couple of Charity Shields. They've always qualified for Europe while he's been in charge, and only last year was the first time that they missed Champions League qualification. They still qualified for Europe. It's difficult to quantify what he's done for English football. Bearing in mind that Alex Ferguson nearly got sacked from Man United several times in the first couple of years he was there. You don't get the Arsene Wengers and Alex Fergusons today anymore. You don't get them. Clubs do not give managers time, and as we've seen with the whole Wembley sale, money is a big thing to do with it, and all sorts of issues. But there was a period of time where Arsenal were almost unstoppable. The issue Arsenal have is they've never actually really, apart from that 2006 final, done well enough in Europe. And 2009 they got to the semi-finals, the Champions League. They haven't really got their hands on a Champions League or Europa League trophy. Now, last night they let slip a great opportunity to put themselves in the driving seat to get to the Europa League final, and they can still do that. And that will be a fitting way for Wenger to retire as Arsenal manager or leave as Arsenal manager if they win the Europa League final. That'd be a fitting way to end his tenure as manager. I also personally think he stayed several seasons too long, but if he had left, I don't know, 2010 for example, or 2012, they wouldn't have won those recent FA Cup victories. They wouldn't have got their hands on the trophy again. So you have to be a bit, with hindsight, you have to be a bit careful. Plus, also, where would Arsenal be without him? They've regularly finished in the European places, and they've never missed European qualification whilst Arsene Wenger has been manager of Arsenal. And they still have a chance of winning a trophy this season. So Arsenal fans have to be careful what they wish for, because they could end up like a Man United with a lack of success for several years before they get back right to the pinnacle. I mean, there are issues with Arsenal, with the running of the team and how it's perceived that, you know, the ownership and the transfer market, they've been overly cautious in some seasons. They haven't splashed big all the time. Okay, Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang, okay, they've got a couple of big name players, and Andre Arshavin notwithstanding, in the last 10 years they haven't been aggressive in the transfer market. Let's be brutally honest. Since they've been at the Emirates, they've not been aggressive in the transfer market. The last signing they made when they were at the old Highbury was Theo Walcott, because officially the season hadn't really officially ended with the transfer window had opened. The last signing they made before they went to the Emirates was Theo Walcott. So part of the issue is they haven't been overly aggressive in the transfer market. The club is making money. The club is in a good financial state, which is fine. That is not a problem. It's one of the few clubs that have actually been well run over the last 10, 20 years. We can debate whether the move to the Emirates was necessary, whether they could have actually just developed Highbury and built it stand by stand like some other clubs have done with their stadiums. We can debate the move to the Emirates. We can debate if, you know, should they have left Highbury. Many things. I felt Highbury was a perfect home for Arsenal. It really was. And bearing in mind 2006 was, you know, that season. The season they left Highbury was the season they got to the Champions League final against Barcelona and nearly won that final. Had Arsenal won that final, we might have had a different last 12 years of European football. The Spanish teams might not have dominated because they would have probably or possibly gone, we've just lost. Messi may not have stayed at Barcelona, for example. Some of those young Barcelona players that went on, like Iniesta, who's announced he's leaving European football, and Barcelona at the end of the season may have been sold on. Their style of football may not have come to pass. That is now known as Barcelona's style. So what could have happened? There's a lot of what ifs. But there was that lack of nothing. For a good period of time, there was no trophies at Arsenal. From the end of the Invincibles era to a couple of years ago with the FA Cup, there was about a good decade with no silverware. And fans slowly became more and more frustrated with how Arsenal fell apart at the end of the season. They were always in fourth place. And now Tottenham are the better side, which rankles heavily with Arsenal fans as well, is that Tottenham are now the superior team in North London. The fact that Tottenham haven't won a trophy is irrelevant in this conversation. Arsenal fans are really pissed off that they're now behind Tottenham in the pecking order again for the first time in 25 years. If Arsenal win the Europa League, however, they still have some bragging rights, and that'd be a fitting way for Wenger to go. But you've got to look at the numbers. He hasn't spent a lot in the transfer window in the last decade. The club hasn't. They've underinvested, and some of their youth players haven't lived up to expectations. And the style of football they play, they haven't got that gritty, roll the sleeves up midfielder. Defensively, they are a sieve. Goalkeeping issue, scoring depth issue. They do look a little bit suspect at times, and they've been on the receiving end of some really heavy defeats in the last decade. And for a long time now, for a good while, the fans of Wenger out campaign has gathered momentum. So I was very surprised when he signed a 2-year contract at the end of last season. Last season, he should have left. That would have been fitting. He's won a trophy, retire with a trophy. He can still do that with the Europa League. They still have a chance against Atletico Madrid. And they really screwed up last night against 9 men. They fouled up last night, giving away a sloppy goal. That could be crucial. They still have a very, very good chance to get to that final, to win that final. And we shouldn't write them off. But there have been times this season where they look absolutely hopeless. There's a reason why this is going to be their lowest league finishing position since Wenger has been at the club. He obviously wanted to stay on till the end of next year. But it was very early on in the season and that was not a tenable decision that was going to be in his hands. The club hierarchy have clearly taken the decision whether he liked it or not. I personally think he stayed too long, but you've got to look at his record. He's the second most successful manager in English football history for the length of time he's been there and the amount of trophies won. He is also the most successful manager in FA Cup history with 7 FA Cups to his name. He holds that record by himself. He's a standalone manager in that respect, and that record I don't think will ever be broken, ever. Managers like Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, those days are done, where a manager can stay at a club for 20 to 30 years. They are long gone. Long, long gone. They will never be repeated. They will never happen again. Not with the way football's going, and it's sad. That means there's no stability at clubs anymore. Wenger and Ferguson, really, their rivalry was heated, but they made sure their clubs were in a stable position by the time they left, and they are. What happens to Arsenal now? Luis Enrique's one name that's been bandied out there. There are other names like Patrick Vieira, and I think the Arsenal fans will warm to Vieira. He's a good coach. He's got his coaching badges. He's been assisting his coaching, at Man City. And he will be a good choice. He knows how the club works. He was there during the club's most successful period in its history. Why not give him a chance? We need more men of colour in the game. Well, I'm going to leave that there, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more videos for you soon, so please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and see you later.